Navy shows what may be the future of modern close-in warfare.
Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes.
Elon Musk recently made a cryptic yet bold claim that the U.S. Navy has developed something so advanced it can't be stopped. Though he offered no details, the statement sent shockwaves through tech and defense circles. Coming from a figure known for transforming space, EVs, and AI, the implications are serious. Could it be an AI-powered stealth ship, an autonomous vessel that thinks, moves, and strikes faster than any human? If true, it may signal a revolutionary shift in military power, strategy, and global balance. A floating command center, invisible and intelligent, could redefine naval warfare. Musk's hint, if grounded in reality, might mark the most significant military breakthrough of the 21st century. The U.S. has always prided itself on its advancements in the field of technology, and most especially, military power. It's no secret to the rest of the world that they invest absurd amounts of their annual budgets into making next-generation weaponry. And so, when little whispers of a new game-changer in carrier warfare surfaced, many sat up. If any of these tidbits of info flowing through the grapevine are true, then they may have just offered a glimpse into the future of modern close-range combat. And it might seem that at the center of this new storm is Elon Musk. He allegedly shared details recently about an advanced laser weapon developed by the Navy, which is also paired with a new U.S. Navy aircraft carrier that is said to be so advanced it could potentially shift global naval power. This wouldn't just simply be another improvement in military technology, but a fundamental leap. With his deep history of involvement in both defense and tech industries, his remarks carried weight, not as idle speculation, but as credible insights likely coming from someone close to the development or in the loop. Reports allegedly suggest that this new carrier will be created with the goal of total strategic dominance. Instead of upgrading old nuclear-powered ships, the Navy plans to build this vessel from scratch, implementing futuristic propulsion systems, autonomous weaponry, and advanced stealth technology. Its aim is simple: to imprint an unerasable mark of fear on enemies by being virtually invisible while sitting at their doorsteps. To understand why this new carrier design could overwhelm current carrier models, we have to examine existing ones and the focus of upgrades most countries have pursued so far. Floating titans of today and current paths of upgrades. Aircraft carriers have been the backbone of naval power for over 8 decades. These massive vessels, which are essentially floating air bases, allow countries to project military force far beyond their borders. However, despite continual upgrades, the core design and operational concept of aircraft carriers has remained largely unchanged. To grasp why future developments in naval warfare could render existing models obsolete, or at least significantly outclassed, it's crucial to understand the state of today's aircraft carriers and the direction most countries have pursued with their upgrades. At the center of global naval power are the United States' 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, most notably the Nimitz and Gerald R. Ford classes. These ships are the largest warships ever constructed, displacing over 100,000 tons and hosting up to 75 aircraft. Other nations maintain smaller but still formidable carriers, including the UK's HMS Queen Elizabeth, France's Charles de Gaulle, China's Shandong and Fujian, and India's INS Vikrant. Despite differences in scale and propulsion, these carriers share a common blueprint. They depend on flight decks for launching and recovering aircraft, centralized command bridges for coordinating missions, and highly trained crews that number in the thousands. Aircraft carriers are supported by an array of other ships ranging from cruisers to destroyers, submarines, and supply vessels, forming what's known as a carrier strike group. Over the last 2 decades, the world's leading navies have invested heavily in upgrading aircraft carriers to meet new threats and extend their battlefield relevance. Yet these upgrades have followed a clear pattern. Rather than reimagining the carrier from the ground up, they've focused on enhancing legacy systems. Take, for example, the enhancement or the slight redesign of the flight deck and launch enhancements. The U.S. Navy's Gerald R. Ford class carriers introduced the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMALS, to replace steam-powered catapults. EMALS enables faster, smoother aircraft launches and reduces maintenance demands, making it easier to accommodate a wider variety of aircraft. Similarly, the Advanced Arresting Gear, AAG, provides better energy absorption and is more adaptable than traditional arresting wires, which improves aircraft recovery. For propulsion and power generation systems, nuclear propulsion has long given U.S. supercarriers unmatched endurance. The Ford-class ships are equipped with two A-1B nuclear reactors that produce significantly more electrical power than previous generations. This excess capacity isn't just for propulsion, but a deliberate act aimed at accommodating future technologies like high-energy lasers and advanced radar systems. Also, command, control, and sensor functions have been fused as modern carriers increasingly operate as information warfare hubs. They are equipped with enhanced radar arrays, satellite uplinks, and battle management systems that allow them to integrate into a broader joint forces network. These tools enable faster decision-making and better coordination with aircraft, other ships, and ground forces. Perhaps the most visible upgrades to carriers are in the aircraft they launch. The U.S. Navy's integration of the F-35C Lightning II represents a leap in stealth sensor fusion and multi-role flexibility. Other navies have followed suit, deploying updated jets or adapting flight decks for short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft. While carrier-based aircraft have advanced, they remain dependent on the same physical and logistical constraints such as deck space, hangar operations, fuel, munitions, and maintenance. Aircraft carriers, despite their strength, are likewise massive targets. To protect them, navies employ layered defensive systems including surface-to-air missiles, radar-guided cannons like the Phalanx CIWS, electronic countermeasures, and decoy systems. Until recently, these systems primarily relied on kinetic interceptors. That began to change with the recent deployment of high-energy laser weapons, a true game-changer in shipboard defense. In 2023, the U.S. Navy continued testing and limited deployment of solid-state laser systems aboard certain warships, including amphibious transport ships and destroyers. The Layered Laser Defense, or LLD system, and other prototypes have demonstrated the ability to shoot down drones, disable small boats, and potentially intercept incoming missiles, all at the speed of light and with near-infinite magazine depth, with their only current limitations supposedly being power supply. So then, it's safe to say that laser weapons have three immediate advantages. Let's dig in. The first advantage lies in speed and precision. Unlike missiles, which require tracking and time to intercept, lasers engage instantly with pinpoint accuracy. They are also cost-efficient, as a single laser shot costs far less than a missile intercept, making it ideal for dealing with swarms or mass attacks. Lasers also don't require physical ammo, simplifying resupply and reducing deck clutter. Though still in early stages, the integration of laser defense systems on support vessels signals a future in which carriers themselves may be equipped with directed energy weapons to counter next-generation threats. That would mark a turning point in defensive warfare, offering real-time, high-volume protection against drones, hypersonic, and other modern weapons. Even with advanced sensors, laser weapons, and state-of-the-art aircraft, modern aircraft carriers face some limitations that no amount of upgrade can fully solve. The most noticeable problem is, despite all the upgrades, carriers haven't fundamentally changed in decades. Their massive flight decks and central island towers are necessary for aircraft operations, but also highly visible and easy to track via satellites, radar, or signals intelligence. At over 1,000 feet long and with thousands of personnel aboard, carriers are high-value targets. In a peer conflict, especially near contested regions like the Taiwan Strait or South China Sea, their size makes them vulnerable to anti-ship ballistic missiles like China's DF-21D, hypersonic glide vehicles, and long-range drones. A typical carrier requires constant resupply of aviation fuel, food, ammo, and parts. It's supported by an entire fleet for defense, repair, and provisioning. This dependency limits operational range and tempo, especially in a hostile environment. Crew sizes regularly exceed 4,000 to 5,000 individuals, including air wing personnel. Not only is this a human cost, but it also introduces risk during pandemics, extended operations, or cyber disruptions that affect shipboard systems. While the U.S. maintains the most capable fleet of aircraft carriers, other nations have pursued their own versions tailored to regional ambitions. China is advancing rapidly with the launch of its Type 003 carrier Fujian, featuring electromagnetic launch systems and greater size than previous carriers. It aims to shift the balance of power in East Asia. The UK operates two Queen Elizabeth-class carriers with twin island designs and integrated operations for the F-35B. These units are focused on flexible allied power projection. India has launched INS Vikrant, a domestically built carrier that marks a significant step in indigenous defense capability. France, Russia, and others maintain or plan carriers for national prestige and limited regional power projection, but most remain behind in terms of scale, nuclear propulsion, or cutting-edge systems. Despite differences, all major navies are investing in the same general schematics and trend: better launch or recovery systems, stealthier and more survivable aircraft, network-centric warfare integration, greater endurance and flexibility. Yet none have fundamentally broken from the traditional model of large, crewed, aircraft-centered vessels operating as the center of a strike group. So what does Elon mean when he hints at the U.S. Navy finally breaking the mold and wanting to create a near-unstoppable new force on the seas? Let's take a look. The Titan of the future, a vessel with no worthy challenger. The very notion that a single vessel could move unhindered against entire fleets may sound like science fiction. Yet if recent speculation surrounding Elon Musk's alleged remarks is to be taken seriously, the United States Navy may be on the brink of deploying something so advanced, so seamlessly integrated with artificial intelligence, quantum communications, and autonomous systems that it would fundamentally reshape modern naval warfare. While no official confirmation exists, his long-standing involvement in AI development, aerospace engineering, and defense-related ventures gives credibility to the idea that such a breakthrough could soon surface, if it already hasn't in some secret facility. So, what kind of features would such a vessel have that, if deployed in combat, could allow it to operate with near-complete impunity? For a start, one of the core concepts driving speculation around this new class of carrier is its presumed invisibility, something it achieved through advanced hull materials, sensor-dampening coatings, and electronic warfare capabilities. Current carriers rely on a detectable profile, which is their vast size, noisy propulsion systems, and continuous electromagnetic emissions, which make them trackable via satellite, radar, sonar, and signal intelligence. Instead, an AI-powered carrier designed under Elon's ideology of seamless integration may be fundamentally different. With real-time signal monitoring and onboard AI trained to mimic environmental noise, such a ship could actively avoid detection systems. By deploying electromagnetic countermeasures milliseconds before a targeting system locks on, it could vanish from radar screens entirely. This electronic chameleon mode would make it extremely difficult for hostile forces to even confirm its presence, much less track or engage it. Its acoustic signature would also be dampened using ultra-quiet propulsion systems, possibly magneto-hydrodynamic drives paired with vibration isolation tech modeled on SpaceX's landing stabilizers. This would effectively make a warship that can disappear below the radar, beneath sonar thresholds, and beyond satellite sweeps. No ship, however advanced, can operate in a vacuum. Tactical superiority requires constant, secure communication with command centers, satellites, and companion assets. This has always been a carrier's Achilles heel, as radio frequencies can be intercepted, decoded, and triangulated. This enters quantum communication, a technology that Elon has reportedly shown interest in through indirect research ventures. Using entangled particles, a message could be transmitted without an observable signal, immune to interception or jamming. If this speculative carrier integrates such a system, its communication lines would be invisible to all existing forms of electronic surveillance. This transforms battlefield coordination because it no longer matters if the enemy is listening. After all, there's nothing to listen to. Moreover, the ship could integrate with satellite constellations like Starlink, upgraded for military-grade encryption and bandwidth. This creates a continuous feedback loop where AI on board processes real-time satellite data, cross-references it with battlefield conditions, and updates its mission objectives in a decentralized fashion, without reliance on vulnerable human relays. One of his major hallmarks in AI development is speed, not just optimization of raw computational ability, but of decision architecture. The notion of a carrier executing its observe-orient-decide-act loop autonomously in microseconds is central to this vessel's theoretical power. While human-led forces deliberate, this carrier has already assessed threats, mapped countermeasures, and deployed precision assets. Here, autonomy becomes an advantage. Drones and underwater vehicles dispatched from the vessel are not directed in the usual manner, but instead coordinate as a mesh intelligence network. One AI brain on the ship, assisted by thousands of subsidiary agents, can simultaneously interpret radar sweeps, sonar pings, atmospheric readings, and even cyber signals. All of this data is processed in real time, allowing the ship to move and strike without human hesitation. If Elon Musk's design philosophies from Tesla and Neuralink hold, the carrier's AI would be trained on massive simulations, allowing it to predict not only enemy behavior, but also the environmental and political ramifications of its own actions. This situational prediction ability would let it anticipate threats before they materialize. Adding fuel to the speculative fire is recent news from the U.S. Navy confirmed testing of a directed energy weapon system, a combat-grade laser capable of neutralizing incoming drones, missiles, and even small ships at the speed of light. Such a system, if integrated into the AI framework of this carrier, would mark a decisive break from traditional point defense mechanisms. Imagine a threat emerging in the form of an anti-ship missile launched from 300 miles away. Current carriers would deploy countermeasures, possibly a close-in weapons system that uses rapid-fire bullets to try and shoot it down. The new AI-powered carrier, on the other hand, would identify the trajectory within milliseconds and fire a laser, instantly vaporizing the threat before it reaches tactical range. Now imagine this scenario across hundreds of threats, like swarm drones, hostile reconnaissance planes, and even torpedoes. With energy-based defenses coordinated by artificial intelligence, this ship doesn't just react, it preemptively neutralizes threats and moves on. Modern warships are also built for specific missions. When threats evolve, the ship must return to port, for retooling or undergo complicated logistical operations. In contrast, the speculative Elon-aligned carrier is rumored to include modular fabrication systems, which are essentially floating 3D printing labs capable of working with polymers, alloys, and electronics. This ability to reconfigure on the fly offers unprecedented operational flexibility. If its drone fleet needs new propellers adapted to cold weather, it prints them. If a new kind of jammer is developed during combat simulations, it's integrated within hours. This adaptability also shields it from supply chain disruptions, a vulnerability Elon has repeatedly tried to eliminate in his automotive and space ventures. Modern naval warfare still focuses on threats above the waterline like fighter jets, cruise missiles, radar sweeps, but this new model would reimagine the ocean beneath the ship as a tactical extension of the carrier's mind. Tethered and autonomous submersibles form a stealth perimeter hundreds of nautical miles wide. Acting as scouts and saboteurs, these drones can scan for mines, trail enemy submarines, tap undersea cables, and even lay sonar-disrupting countermeasures. Their low-frequency communication systems avoid detection, and they operate under thermal layers that shield them from satellite observation. This turns the ocean floor into the carrier's second battlefield. And because the AI can coordinate these subsurface drones as extensions of its own logic, the carrier becomes effectively aware of what flies, sails, and swims in its sphere of influence. To move unhindered isn't just about firepower or speed. It's about sustainability and evasion. The vessel is suggested to use real-time environmental sensing to adjust emissions, heat signatures, and waste output in ways that make it untraceable. Smart waste processors eliminate biological signatures. Hull-embedded microsensors detect corrosion, algae, and damage, deploying microbots to clean or repair in real time. This not only reduces crew requirements, it also extends mission durations beyond what current logistics models deem possible. With fewer resupply points, longer deployment periods, and an internal ability to regulate both ecology and visibility, the carrier becomes something entirely new. A digital leviathan that moves through oceans without leaving a footprint. Perhaps the most potent weapon this theoretical carrier wields is uncertainty. In modern warfare, the unknown can be more destabilizing than any missile. Rivals can't be sure where the carrier is, what it's capable of, or how fast it adapts. This unpredictability undermines confidence in defense planning. Enemy admirals may delay action, fearing that what they know is already obsolete. Worse, they may act under false assumptions, unaware that the carrier has already upgraded its capabilities in theater. Such an advantage isn't merely tactical, it's strategic. The mere idea of this ship may alter how adversaries build their fleets, plan their deployments, and write their doctrines. It becomes a ghost admiral, a presence that must be considered, even when it cannot be seen. You probably ask why this theoretical vessel is heavily linked to Elon Musk. His companies have already blurred the lines between civilian and military tech. SpaceX has revolutionized satellite deployment. Starlink has been used in war zones, Tesla AI is being adapted for national security, and Neuralink offers dual-use possibilities for military command systems. His disdain for slow innovation, his track record of building vertically integrated platforms, and his willingness to challenge traditional defense contractors all lend plausibility to the idea that a ship like this could emerge under his influence. If not directly, then through overlapping technologies like Starlink satellites, AI training systems, propulsion engineering from SpaceX, and even battery systems from Tesla. Together, these elements provide all the components such a carrier would require. Today's aircraft carriers are marvels of engineering and unmatched in force projection. From catapult-launched stealth fighters to the integration of laser defenses, Navies around the world are enhancing these ships to stay relevant in an increasingly dangerous world. However, these upgrades are evolutionary and not revolutionary. What do you think of this bold new possibility in naval warfare? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. To enjoy more exciting videos, click play on the video on your screen. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when a new video drops.